This is River Roaring, celebrating the luminous life force in us all. Hello, darling. It's River Roaring. Welcome to a special part of our podcast called Dark Side Revealed. This episode is How to Not Be Afraid of the Dark. Today I want to share something with you that has helped me a lot in my spiritual path and in my daily life, especially when it comes to understanding myself. From Darth Vader and the Sith, to Bill Gates, to mainstream news, to the global management team, it's easy to become afraid of the dark. The media is so polarized that we know someone is lying. The government shows us it can't be trusted. Even religions seem to be prophesizing a dark apocalypse. Many people I know are so confused that they simply ignore it all. But what if we had a secret code, a simple secret code that brings clarity to all this chaos? What if you could always tell the light from the dark, so you were never able to be fooled or even confused again? My journey is that I spent over 20 years in the dark side, basically, and you'll see why I'm saying that even more by the end of this. I was a trial attorney and lobbyist with my own law office downtown Austin, Texas for over 20 years. And during that time, I spent a lot of time basically involved in trying to control the world around me. Even though I always represented individuals, not companies, I always fought for the rights of my clients, and I always worked at the legislature on behalf of the public interest. So in a way, I was on the good side, the good team, I thought. My intentions were very positive. I was there to try to serve others. But what I didn't realize is that what I want to talk about in this podcast was part of my life, part of my makeup, and it was dark. It wasn't the light. So how could that be? After I closed my law office, which has now been 10 years ago, basically, I just tuned out of the news for a while because I had become such a news junkie as a lobbyist as well as lawyer, like kind of knowing everything that was going on, everything everybody was saying about everything in the law and in government. And doesn't that sound fun? So I obviously, for obvious reasons, set it aside when I left the work. And then the lockdowns happened, 2020. Then 2020 happened. And I was like, I think I need to pay attention to the news again because I don't understand what's happening here to me. I don't know why we're closing everything down right now and staying inside. I don't understand that. So I came back to the news. And when I came back and I started into the news again and into my research of the globe and the governments of the world and what's going on, it seemed like everything that was true before was now false and vice versa. It took me a long time to understand this simple discernment that has brought me a lot of clarity since I started using it. The solution is so beautiful and so simple, at least for me. And I hope it helps you. Here in the Dark Side Revealed segment, the dark side is the dynamic of possession and control. The light side is the dynamic of love and acceptance. It's really that simple. The dark side, the way I look at it now, and dark side and light side are just simple, like almost slang terms, like just convenient words, like a nickname. But dark side, when I talk about dark side, I'm talking about simply the dynamic of possession and control. And when I talk about the light side as a nickname for something, I'm talking about the dynamic of love and acceptance. So this means if we look at the world and we look at something that's happening and we're like, wait a minute, is this positive or negative? Like, can't even tell if what's happening here is so quote unquote good or bad, or like how I feel about this. What is true and what is false here? For me, I realize I don't have to figure anything complex out. I just want to look at each thing I have a question about and say, which of these two dynamics is in play? It's easy. So we can really stop being afraid. I could, and I hope you can, because control and possession are actually very weak dynamics next to love and acceptance. The dark side has nothing more than to urge to control and possess. And because each one of us have free will, we can just say no. We have to be convinced or agree into some system of control and possession. Of course, we have, as a society, agreed into a lot of control and possession dynamics. And the reason I'm making this podcast is to see if we can learn how to discern and move away from so much control and possession in our society and move into more love and acceptance. So what do I mean by we can just say no to the dark side? Have you ever had a nightmare where someone or something was chasing you? These are often recurring nightmares, always the same thing or the same kind of thing, chasing. You're fleeing in fear, and then you wake up. Now, how do we stop this cycle finally in our dream time? Have you ever heard about this? If you're having that kind of nightmare where something's chasing you and you're running and you wake up and this so kind of got that fight and flight feeling inside, the solution for this, if you want to stop the cycle, is to stop fleeing in the dream. Stop running. Just stand your ground, turn, and face the thing that's chasing you or the monster. Just stop and look at it and be with it. Maybe even offer it a hug and just say like, hey, what are you chasing me for? And you may have heard of this before, but so often the thing in the dream will just stop and shrink or go away or just say, oh, I just wanted to say you forgot something. I was trying to bring it to you. something benign. And you can offer it a hug and see what happens. That's kind of a teaching in our dreams. It's kind of a metaphor for life. You know, we spend so much time running. What does my Facebook profile say? It's a roomie. For ages, you've run from the pain and forfeited the ecstasy. Really, we're trained in this culture to just run from pain and run from anything that is scary instead of stopping to see, well, what is it? What is it? So when I use this simple distinction, I've used it to tell between light and dark. It's also helped me to stop judging others so much. Because, of course, we all have a little bit of both inside of us. Of course, when I look inside myself, there are parts of me that are wanting to control things around me or possess more things around me or people around me. It's not all. Everyone has their own reasons. Some people are in a marriage for possession reasons. As a lawyer and a lobbyist, what am I doing? Control the way the case goes, control the way this turns out, control everybody with laws. I mean, what are laws? Controls. So in this model of dark and light, that's dark side. And so even though I felt like I was trying with an intention I'm not judging myself. That's the point of this podcast. I'm not judging my past. I'm saying now that I can discern, I can choose. the beautiful thing about learning something new and seeing with clarity, it puts us at choice. And so I've been able to move out of that career of control and possession and into a career of far more love and acceptance, where now I am showing others how to open and expand their lives into more love and more acceptance. And by the way, what did we do in that dream with the monster when we turned around and looked at it? Accept it. Just be like, hey, I accept you. What are you going to do now? Now that we're not running, you're accepted. I'm bringing light to the situation. I'm going to love you too. What are you trying to do? Teach me a lesson or something? What is it? What's the message? So when I realized that inside of me is my whole career was based on possession and control, and then I changed careers. It took a while, but I changed careers into something that I feel really, really beautiful about, which I'm really trying to spread more love and acceptance. And still day to day, after all these years, day to day, I might find moments where I want to control and possess some stuff. Now, we do need to control and possess small children until they're safe enough. But that's very different for youth. I'm always talking here about adults who have adult free will and adult free choice. And if you're hearing this podcast, you're probably in a position of a lot of freedom. So by noticing that I had a career of quote unquote dark side, control and possession, and even day to day, it rises up. And even when I find myself in my own personal relationship with my lover, and I'm like, oh, I wish you wouldn't do that. There it is. It's in me. And when I can love and accept that part of me, and I can also see that part of me, I can choose something different. I can choose to be more loving and accepting with everybody around me, no matter what. And I can also stop judging, because it's in me, it's in you, it's part of the human condition at this point, at this moment in time. So we can even stop judging institutions, because it likely has a little of both inside as well. I'll never forget when Donald Trump first became president in 2016. I was certainly not a fan. And I remember realizing as a spiritual being, my next task is to love this guy, love and accept this guy. It doesn't matter where you stand politically. You can think of someone who probably makes your skin crawl, and can you love and accept them? Because why? Because you have a little of that in you too, and that's important that you love and accept yourself. So we can actually release confusion, release the fear, and release the judgment, since all of us have a little of both. What a relief. Instead, we can begin to heal, to step more and more into the light. We can discern whether every thought, every word, and every action represents the dark or the light. So here's your simple question one more time. Is this dynamic control and possession, or is this dynamic love and acceptance? And can I step just a little more into love and acceptance right now? So when you come across the dark side of control and possession, consider offering it a loving hug. Invite it into the light of love and acceptance, which of course includes loving and accepting the control and possession. Love it, accept it, face it with total love and acceptance. This does not mean I do nothing to change things. This has nothing to do with which actions I choose to take. This is simply about that first and all-important step, discerning what is happening, so I have clarity as I choose how to move forward in thought, word, and deed. I invite you to move through your day today, noticing when there's a dynamic that's possessing or controlling, and how does that feel in your body? And then notice when there is a dynamic of love and light. How does that feel in your body? Notice if one person, you, another, someone in the media, Notice if one person seems to have both dynamics at different times. Yeah, that's how it works, which is every moment is a choice. This show is designed to support you as you journey through the universe discerning dark from light. If you choose to accept this mission with me, I hope you will see how helpful this distinction is. I've changed so much about my own life to step further into the light. May you enjoy the clarity and joy that comes from understanding the simple concepts of darkness and light. And I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment or shoot me an email by visiting my site at riverroaring.com and clicking Get Started to share your question, reflection, or insight. Together, we can step into the light, shifting human consciousness forever for the highest good of all beings. May the light be with you, and may the light be with us all.